The Daily Guide is reporting of a press conference held by the minority yesterday in reaction to the supplementary budget, and it's saying whilst Mr. Setekbe is suggesting the economy is on the path of transformation, the minority says the economy is in a mess, and the BNFT is suggesting that donors would hold 484 million from government. It says that 484 million of donor funds has been withheld. Now, the funds are made up of that from the IMF and other multi-donor agencies. The minority is suggesting that it could hit the economy hard if government does not take steps to receive them. The MP for Otafo said at the press conference in response to Mr. Tekbe's supplementary budget. So, Dr. Haji, let's quickly deal with this one. Mr. Tekbe is suggesting the economy is on the path of transformation. The minority says it is in a mess, and donors are even withholding this amount of money because some conditions, government is unable to meet certain conditions.
Well, yes, the minority has held a press conference, and obviously they say your enemy will not give you a good haircut. So, I mean, understandably, they will always say that the economy is in a mess. But I think the conditions that I recall, I heard the Minister for Finance saying that for the third review, the IMF program had asked for additional conditions that required the collection of data. And the period available for the collection of data was too short, and so they're requesting that at least this can be passed on to the next review. But you see, it's not a cancellation of the facility. It is just from what I think the minority is saying. It is just that it's been withheld, and the caution is that if it's not released, it can trigger.
It can hit the economy.
It can hit the economy hard. I obviously, in an election year, typically development partners tend to develop apprehension on government spending. I mean, spending itself back into power, which leaves the economy in tatters for the new administration. So there's that pressure that they always try to impose on government, that we don't want any expenditure beyond what's contained in your fiscal policy. Yes, that is not anything new, but I think that the ministry is working. And if you see in the papers, you also see another section where the vice president, in speaking to a team from, I think, Stanchart, was talking about the resilience of the economy. And obviously, the numbers, the inflation figures are coming down, the debt ratio is coming down. I mean, what else are you going to talk about? What's the mess there? The fact that the numbers are, the ratios are coming down? I don't know. I think if you're managing an economy, the essence is to rein in all these other factors that affect your public expenditure. So I think government is doing well in that regard. I don't think it's been cancelled, as I said. If it's been withheld for a period, I think the conditions probably, and I want to assume that the fact that the minister went for a supplementary budget does not mean that it is a constitutional requirement. When you spend up to a certain point, you can ask for a supplementary budget to continue your expenditure for the year. And I think his argument is that, well, because the donors are without that, is going to resort
to delayed those.
They have delayed it. It's going to resort to domestic borrowing, which can trigger further inflation. I think it is their speculation.
I'm grateful. Nana. Well, you're giving your enemy a bad haircut.
Oh, your own chairman, Potufe. I hope I got his name wrong. He says that the times are very hard, so they had difficulty getting money to go and pay a court fine.
That's political.
It's not me. This is your party national chairman. It's not me. So,
but they paid.
Yes, but he said times are very hard, so they had difficulty. So he is saying times are very hard, not me. You yourself, the government, you said that you're having problems, so you've gone for the IMF for credibility. Is it me who said so? You, the government, you said you can't manage. Things have gotten out of hand.
That's not what we said.
So why did you go to the IMF?
Government says we're looking for a policy credibility. Right.
Yes, that means your own policies. There's no credibility.
We didn't say that. We were saying we're looking fiscal consolidation, and it was on a homegrown program that we developed and took it to the IMF.
I am just telling you what the president.
Now you go ahead.
And I'm just telling you, but you are in the middle. You should correct Dr. Haji.
Okay.
So he forgets these things because you are here when the president told us that they had to go to the IMF for policy credibility. Isn't that what the president said? So why is Dr. Haji trying to beat me this morning? I didn't say so. Now, if you yourself, you have said that things have gotten out of hand, and so you've gone to the IMF. It's not me who's saying so. Now, the IMF that you've gone to, they are saying that your performance is so bad that they are going to withhold the $400 million they're supposed to give to you.
It's just a delay.
What delay? The IMF says that. You know why the delay? You know why the delay?
No, I have no idea.
Oh, the IMF says that they should pass a law for zero financing from the Bank of Ghana. That if you leave the government alone, they would overborrow from the Bank of Ghana.
But that is not possible for a developing country like Ghana.
What is not possible?
I mean, the Bank of Ghana not financing government.
So why is the IMF saying they should pass that law?
Oh, well.
So the IMF said,
I'm not sure government will listen to it.
The IMF said, we will not leave you, because if we leave you, you will behave irresponsibly. Because the IMF, they have seen it before. The law requires, sets a limit of 10% for government borrowing. You know that. Right. This government in 2012 borrowed 170%. 170%. That's why the IMF is saying, if we leave you, you will behave irresponsibly. So pass the law to make it zero. It's not me, and that if you don't do that, we won't give you this money. The IMF one is 400. The other donors are 84. All the donors will give. And this is not the first time. It's not the first time donors will not be giving money to this government because of irresponsible economic management. In 2013, they withheld their support. Dr. Haji knows it. Because of their responsibility showed in 2012, where they spent a deficit of 12%, which is a record in the Fourth Republic. No government has had a deficit of 12%. Never. When the NPP was living, the deficit was 6.6. They said, the country is broke. Then you come and spend 12%. Now, as we speak, their target for the deficit is 6.6, what the NPP left. So these people, what have they done?
But you also agree it's been whittled down.
What has been? Yes. Okay. But you see, you came and met a level and you destroyed it. And you are now trying to get back to that level. Which of them have they improved? When they came, inflation was 18.3. In 8 years, ask Dr. Haji, what is the inflation today? When they came in 2009, interest rates were 25%. Ask Dr. Haji, what are interest rates today? When they came, GDP to debt ratio was 36%. Ask him what GDP to debt ratio is today. When they came, agriculture was growing at 8.4. Ask him what is agriculture's growth rate today. When they came, industry was growing at 5%. Ask him what the rate of industry growth is today, as we speak. When they came, the cedi had deteriorated, lost value 53%. Ask him how much the cedi has deteriorated in the last 7 years. Ask him. So all the indices, you have failed. All of them. None. And the only thing they say they have done is infrastructure. So when you tell them you can't pay school fees, they say, we're doing a bridge at Kwame Nkrumah Second. When you tell them you can't get health insurance, they say, we are doing a bridge at Kaswa. When you say you can't, you have a headache, they say, we are doing a road at Nyankbala. When you say you are hungry, they say, we are doing...
Now, let me ask you one last thing before.
That's all that they say.
What you've just told me, isn't that a regular feature of our economy? We keep doing this?
But I mean, no.
With every government, it is like
this. My brother, the record is there. Look at the record. When the NPP came, inflation was 40%. when we were living.
Okay.
We had brought it to 18.3. That is progress, wouldn't you say? When we came, interest rate was 50%. When we were living, we brought it to 25. These people, they came and met inflation 18.3. 8 years down the line, today inflation is 19.
Okay, now let's wrap up.
When they came, we reduced interest rate from 50 to 25. They, in 8 years, have moved interest rate from 25 to 35. Where's the progress?
I'm grateful.
Okay.
Nana, let's wrap up. A quick one, briefly.
You see, when you're citing statistics this way and doing this is too simple. It's too simplistic.
That is the record.
Oh, can I wrap up? Can I wrap up?
We're wrapping up.
Can I wrap up?
We're wrapping
You see, there are several factors you consider. There are contexts that you have to consider when you're looking at that. The size of the economy, pressures from outside, the ratios actually are over a growing GDP ratio. So even if you maintain it at that, if your base is growing, it doesn't matter if it's basically at the same rate. But what you're saying is that if you can maintain it even at the same rate with a bigger base, you are improving.
Okay.
But
Dr. Haji, I'm grateful.
We could go into this for.
I'm grateful. Dr. William Haji is the Director of Research of the NDC. Nana Kumia is the Communications Director of the NPP. Gentlemen, I'm grateful for your time. Wish you a great weekend. And hope to see you
also a great weekend, Dr. Haji, as well. I'll give him the Monty tip. Definitely.
All right.